As the first typhoon this month for the Philippines makes its way out, a second one not too far behind it is trailing, and it is likely to be much stronger. And there is development possible in the Western Caribbean as we go into next week, and there is more information on Hurricane Melissa. I'll go over all of this in this video. A CBS Cyclone Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Typhoon Kalmegi has finished making its way through the Philippines. It is starting to develop an eye. It currently has 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds. It at least looks like it's starting to develop an eye, but I will show you the infrared satellite imagery in a bit. But it currently has 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds. Previously, it did go through a quick little bit of rapid intensification, or quick intensification, more so, and then made landfall as a 105-mile-an-hour, 1-minute sustained wind typhoon. However, they do in the Western Pacific 10-minute sustained winds, which I don't really know why. And then they show it further strengthening on its approach to Vietnam, and then making landfall as a remnant low. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know why the forecasts always say that. It does happen all the time, making landfall as a remnant low, but part of it could be that it's very mountainous. Tropical depression 32W. This is the 32nd tropical depression of the year. This is normal for the Western Pacific to have 30, 40 named storms in a season. This is because the Western Pacific is just so active. In the Atlantic, it's rare to see 20, but it's normal in the Western Pacific to see, very normal. If you get 20 storms in a season in the Western Pacific, it's considered below average. They are forecasting it to reach Category 4 status, equivalent to Category 4 in the Atlantic, and then weakening a little bit before making its way through the Philippines. The Google AI model shows, starting with Kalmegi, they show it reaching Category 3 status, about 115 1-minute sustained winds, 115 miles an hour, and then they show it weakening to a Category 2 or 1 as it makes landfall in the Philippines. The Google AI model shows 32W. I don't know what the name's going to be quite yet, but they do show it intensifying into a Category 5 equivalent, what would be in the Western Pacific as a super typhoon. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but they do show it weakening pretty considerably to a Category 4 or 3 as it makes landfall in the Philippines, and then eventually bringing a threat to Taiwan. That would be a weak tropical storm. There are kind of two trains of thought here, one that it goes this way, the other that it goes this way, one that it goes to the west, other to the east. It's more likely to travel to the east after it makes its way through Taiwan, and then that would likely be it for a while. Then maybe we could see a storm develop somewhere over here, but that's way out in time. The development in the Atlantic and the Western Caribbean. So what the European forecast model is saying, they're showing something coming from the Central American Gyre. That's this big low pressure system that sits over Central America and can sometimes shoot off little low pressure systems which can develop into tropical cyclones. And those sometimes can reach hurricane status. Helene last year was an example of one that was very devastating for western North Carolina. They show it's staying over land. If it stays over land, it won't develop. If it goes over water, it will. However, it's hard to tell whether or not this is going to develop right now. The National Hurricane Center hasn't even marked a disturbance quite yet. If they do that, it will probably be Thursday, Friday, even Saturday at the latest. But they do not show it developing. They show some moisture getting feeded into it by a front coming through. And then the GFS, they show this developing into a moderate to strong tropical storm, maybe even a hurricane, and then it moves north past the Yucatan Peninsula, making landfall in Florida as a strong tropical storm or low-end Category 1 hurricane. However, that's just one forecast model, and there are likely more, or that's just one model run, and there are likely more model runs to come. Hurricane Melissa's death toll is now up to, unfortunately, 83, a very devastating storm, and it will very likely be retired. I will keep giving you updates, so that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and see ya.